Very much, Leanne. Thanks, everybody. It's funny because Leanne texted me maybe about a week and a half ago, and she asked me if I would share my testimony. And she said, kind of like you did at the Unified Coast prayer group. And it was the first time that we had met here at the bridge. And that was almost 6 months ago. And it was a very short story. And I thought to myself, well, I wonder if she thinks I'm going to be short, as short as I was then, because a lot has happened in 6 months. So we talked a little bit this morning, and but thank you, and thank all of you for giving me a few minutes here to talk about my story. I like to call myself, and I do have a little card here that I'm using for notes, a late bloomer. Okay, I grew up in a house, and there were 7 girls. I have 6 sisters. There were 7 of us, and I can remember probably the biggest memory I have about going to church was just a picture of us when we were very little. We were all dressed in the same outfit. It was Easter Sunday. And much to my oldest sister's chagrin, we all looked exactly alike, even though there were a number of years that were between us. But I will tell you that I do know that I don't remember much about, again, going to church beyond that. But I do know that I did meet all of the sacramental, requirements that the church required, and have all the pieces of paper that show that. So fast forward a little bit, and I'm now grown, and I've got children of my own. And so based on that, what I learned growing up as a child, I made sure that my children, too, met all those sacramental requirements and had all those certificates. We went to church, periodically, definitely during holidays when it was somewhat required of us. But I was not faithful in taking my children to church, just making sure, again, that we checked those boxes. And then they got grown, and I thought, I'm off the hook now. I don't have, they can take care of raising their children. I'm off the hook. And certainly I've been good enough this far, and, I kind of know the path towards heaven, and all I have to do is get there, or at least purgatory in between, and then try to get myself into heaven from that point. But I will tell you that my husband is military, so we traveled a lot. And during those travels, I did cross paths with people that I feel revealed God to me. And I guess I could say that I crossed paths with God, and I, at different times during sorrow and crisis and through temptations and things like that, I was probably eyeball to eyeball with God, and he had his hand reached out to me. And that was so hard, the work that it would take to be faithful and obey God and things like that. I wasn't ready for that in my life. It was going to be hard work. And I didn't want all the fun to be sucked out of my life by having to be a good Christian. So, I turned away and didn't reach hold for his hand at those times. And now I'm going to move really far forward to August of 2017. And my son-in-law and my daughter lived in Illinois at that time. And my son-in-law was let go from his job. And I was kind of I thought it was women's intuition with regard to myself during that time, but I was hearing things, and I thought that good choices that I was making and that I was, the advice that I was giving to other people was really just women's intuition. You all know what I'm talking about, all the ladies out there. And so through that, as I watched my son-in-law suffer with, anxiety and self-doubt and things like that, we stood ready to help, 12 hours away, my husband and I. And I would give my daughter advice, and I thought for sure that that was just a good mother giving her good daughter some advice through women's intuition. And then all of a sudden, she revealed to me, and I saw the angst that my son-in-law was having, and I saw his anxiety become still. Now, this happened for 6 months, and she revealed to me that he was reading the Bible, and that he was seeking the Lord for his direction and to lead him and lead them in what he should do and how he should help his family. And I thought, oh my gosh, all of a sudden for me, I thought it's going to be okay. They're going to be okay. And then I realized that that was God and that he was speaking to me too. The calmness that I felt and the less stress that I felt and the less need to be there for them, I knew was being filled by their faith in God. So their witness to me through that really, I began to realize, was bringing me on this journey. So I want to tell you all that I think God is on Facebook. I know he's on Facebook. He has a whole lot of pages, okay? And I found God on Facebook in this young lady's page, and she posted that she was doing a small group. And I didn't know her real well, but she, how many friends do we have on Facebook that we really don't know very well, but you never not accept a friendship? And I had accepted hers, but we did know each other from some circles. And I was shocked at how bold she was all of a sudden with the testimony that she was giving on Facebook. I didn't know her as that. And the words that she was sharing on Facebook. And I was drawn to her and drawn to it. And one day she posted an announcement about a small group that she was doing here. And I thought, well, I'm going to go. I can use that. It was a new program for me. It was I was into health and fitness and trying to achieve some weight loss. And it was called the Daniel Plan. And I didn't tell her, and I didn't reach back out to her and say, I'm going to be coming to this small group. I just wanted to let you know. I didn't commit myself, because if I didn't want to go or if I changed my mind, then I wouldn't have to disappoint her. But I was always drawn to it. There was never a point that I was going to change my mind about coming. And I came that night, and she was happy to see me. And our relationship has grown beyond that. But I met Mary Martha. Where are you? She's in the kitchen, maybe. Oh, there you are. And Veronica was there, and there were other ladies there. And I knew I was in the right place. And I haven't looked back since that, and coming here to the bridge and joining small groups. I made that commitment. And I'll tell you that the bridge, this is my home, and you all are my family. And I'm so happy to have you as part of my journey as I learn more about my relationship with God and building that, and about grace and understanding and faith and love and patience and forgiveness. I am a late bloomer. I'm 61 years old, for goodness sake. But I'm like a baby in all of this, and I'm so happy again to be here. I do have a little story I want to tell, because God's got a sense of humor too. Thank you. So on January 1st, 2019, I got my first speeding ticket after 44 years of driving. Veronica was with me. And we kind of sat there on the side of the road after he gave me the ticket. I didn't try to talk myself or cry myself out of it or anything. I just was like, I think immediately I thought, I'm sure there's a valuable lesson here in this. And so I pulled away and I read everything, and I kept praying and asking God, I know there's a lesson here that you want me to learn about getting this speeding ticket. This is not a coincidence. And actually nothing that I look at anymore as a coincidence. I'm always looking for a lesson in it. And all of a sudden one day I realized, I've said over and over again, 65 miles an hour is not a suggestion. That's the speed limit. You got to go that. Well, I was also struggling, too, with dedicating time to spend with God each day. Finding that time and understanding how I could do that and where I could do that. And I realized, as I was thinking about that 65 miles an hour, that I had always looked at this book. It's a very heavy one. Mine's not this heavy. Thank you for letting me borrow it. As a guide. I've told people, this is our guide. But what I realized and what God told me was, Alice, this is not a guide. These are my laws. 65 miles an hour is the law. These are my covenants, and these are my promises to you. And so I learned a lesson on January 1st, 2019 this year. Thank you.